This video is made for an adult audience. Hey brick fans, welcome back to the Brick Bakery, where all our jokes I have baked. I'm Jacob and today it's time to continue work on a waterfall in my Lego city. In my last LEGO City update video, I started work on a waterfall that would integrate the upper part with the lower part of my LEGO City, and I think it turned out pretty well. I had some great suggestions from you folks out there on how to continue this, and I will be implementing some of those today. But without further ado, let's head over to Bakersville and I'll show you more about this project. Here we are back in the LEGO City, and this is the waterfall I started work on last time. Today I've got to work on how to integrate this waterfall with the harbor area that's right over here. And integrating this part with this part over here will require me to move this in some way, and I have an idea of making some kind of bridge structure where the river can actually flow through underneath this lighthouse right here and into the harbor. That also means I've probably going to have to move this lighthouse a little bit further to the right to make room for everything, which means eventually I'll have to decrease the size of the harbor bridges and such over here. So this is gonna be pretty involved. The modifications I have in mind means that I'll probably have to remove some of these bridges here, or at least decrease their size quite a bit, because they do take up a lot of room. However, I do think it'll look very interesting once this lighthouse right over here is placed on another platform. There's been some suggestions that I move the LEGO Ninjago City District to the same level as the water over here, but I like that it's up here, and the waterfall I think really makes this integration work. Now in my mind, this city is actually continuing upwards this way, so there could be several levels behind this where there are more water in sort of terraces behind it, so water could be flowing down from several floors up down to here, and this may just be the last waterfall in a long row of waterfalls. And just before I continue work on the waterfall down here, I'd just like to say that I had some great suggestions for how to make a roof for this from Gulf Coast Bricks. He suggested a solution based on one of the official LEGO modular buildings, the one that's a cinema, or is it a theater, which has these wonderful sloping roofs made from 1x1 round bricks, and I will be implementing that solution at some point, but not today. No, today I will be continuing work on the river and waterfall right down here. So without further ado, let's get over to the build table. So here we are at the build table. I'll start out by removing these small stands here from the marketplace. One of them has actually come apart. Other than that, I think I'll initiate today's work by removing this so I can actually build the river. I think maybe the river, if I build that first, it would get the most natural flow, and then I can add the platform thing, mountain thing, whatever it is, after that, so it'll look a little more natural maybe. But that's the idea at least. But without further ado, I think I'll get right into it. Here we are, clean slate to work with. Now, the river I think should turn this way and this way over here, so we'll get a nice sort of angle. This rounded shape I'm sort of drawing out here is probably going to be pretty hard to do, at least in a way where there's going to have to be some kind of wall around it for it to make any sense that it's not sort of flowing out here. And it's going to be pretty hard to actually make a wall that makes sense, that has this curve to it, at least for me. So maybe I'll make something that's much more angular, which I think makes sense in a city like this, because when you have a river flowing straight through a city like this, you want to tame it a bit. You want your river to sort of match your road system and your buildings and such. And straight edges are just easier to work with when you want to make architecture afterwards. So maybe making a sort of sharp-edged sort of, I don't know, reservoir or something like that would make sense, I think. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to work on now, just at least making the outline of it, and then we'll see how it goes from there. Here I've got an outline of the edge I'm thinking. Now this is actually a repeat of the pattern that's at the harbor, so I think that'll work pretty well. What I am thinking is I have no real idea on how to top this off. Of course, the lighthouse is going to be over here in some way. I'll add in some arches or something beneath, and we can put in the lighthouse in some way, which will make some kind of sense, I hope. Maybe having an edge over here that's a little more mountainous. But this edge right here should also be continued here to some extent. So yeah. But other than that, I do like this pattern. I think it looks pretty good. And yeah, so I think I'll continue that, and I have to think about how to make a finishing touch on the top of this. But on we go with the other side here on the inner part of this. Here we go. This is the two edges taken care of. You can see it's also been done over here, and I've actually started some integration of the mountain side with the edge here, which is, I think, quite realistic. You can also see that I've actually started to make some details right here. This should be the staircase for the platform where the lighthouse is supposed to sit. Now, what I need to do now is think about how I make the arches here in a way so they look good. Of course, there are arched pieces much like these in different shapes, sizes and forms, but this one is definitely too small, and just having some of these, not sure that'll look the best, but maybe maybe that'll look all right. Yeah, I'll have to work a bit on that, but other than that, this is where we're at this point, and I think it's looking pretty good. Here we go. I have built these arches. I was first thinking that I might use some of these pieces, but I think they were simply just too smooth to one look. I wanted something that was broken up just a tiny bit, and having this where the arches are doubled like this, I think looks pretty good. So I'll need to plate this in some way, shape or form, and then I'll have to make some kind of stairs up here, and of course, as I said, make some kind of you know, mountain thing or rocky surface which sort of integrates with the platform that's up here, because all of this has got to have the sense of having been built, whereas this part right here could be sort of more cut out in the stonework, which would make sense from the mountain that's coming down here, I think. So that's the logics behind that. So yeah, not much to say more about that. I'll continue work, and we'll see where it goes. What I'm wondering about right now is where I should be placing the lighthouse. Should it be here in the corner as it is now, which would place it very, very close to the harbor area, or should I actually place it more towards the middle of this, which is going to be a little difficult right now, but so it has one stud on each side. I'm not sure that kind of symmetry will actually fit it too well, and besides that, I'm not sure I can actually come up with a good solution for the last little piece of area that's sort of sticking out right here. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for the placing of this, of course I'm gonna continue work on this, and it may be sort of set in stone once I'm done. But if you have any suggestions for it, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hear about it, because this is something I don't know. I really honestly don't know how this fits here. So yeah, please let me know in the comments below, and yeah, let's get on with it. All right, here we go. That's the staircase up here finished. Now I just need to add some kind of finishing touch right here on this platform. As you can see, I've added or started to add a small cliff right here. I like that kind of detail. Also, I've added some detailing right here. You might be wondering why this is so flat and boring, but that's because this matches together with the bridge or the harbor area that's right here on the other base plate. So that's why that's there. What I need to do now is finish this off and create a small staircase up here, so there's a way to get up to the door. I also need to start tiling in this water area down here. Now I am thinking that maybe I should make some kind of rounding bank of sand in this corner, because I think, you know, when this water comes flowing down here, it would start to turn, of course, and then a lot of sand and other stuff would be caught in this corner. So maybe a small bank of sand would be interesting to have here. Maybe also adding some greenery in some of the cliffs and such that's over here. But yeah, but other than that, I think this is the right track. I still need to come up with that detailing for this right here, but whatever that's going to be, I have no idea yet. So yeah, on we go with this project. For my last video, I had some great suggestions on how to make the foamy, misty end of the waterfall, and I've tried to implement that as good as I could right here, using some white and some transparent pieces. I've also added in a small rock right here, which leaves a small trail of waves and small clouds of, you know, foam, dust and such. So that's going to be interesting to look at once I've fitted in the rest of the transparent blue tiles here, because I think that'll give it a nice effect. So yeah, this is the bottom of the waterfall, which I am pretty satisfied with. But please, if you have any kind of suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to hear it, because water, it's difficult, and I can always use a great suggestion. So on we go. I've been trying to work on the water detailing here, and as you can see, I've now tiled in most of this using the transparent blue. That means, of course, the water is sort of changing color, which maybe it looks a little weird, but I think it's actually quite realistic, as water here might be a little more shallow than it is up here, so it would be lighter. That could be one explanation at least. I've tried to add in some small details around this pillar right here, because when water hits something like this and can continue on, there will be some kind of wave going a bit backwards. And then, of course, there is this little area right here in the corner where I've been talking about adding a sandbank, and I am still thinking about doing that. I think some plates would be good. Eventually, if I have some kind of sea animal, it would be good to put it right on there. But other than that, I think it's just going to be some plates and such maybe in sand color, or tan, if you will, to create that effect. I think that would be that could be good, but we'll see. I'll try something out and we'll see how it goes. Maybe a plant or something as well would be interesting. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Sandbank right here in the corner, and a small frog. That's actually the most the most sort of water-like creature I have in my animal collection. I have a lot of dogs and bats and such, but I have some fish, but that would look weird just laying fish right here. A guy fishing from this edge might look good though, but other than that, this is the most sort of water-esque creature I have. I like this little sandbank. I think it brings some interesting detail to this. Eventually maybe I will move it, who knows, but for now I think it's good. If you have any kind of suggestions for this, please let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to hear about it. What I have to think about now is both this finishing detail right here. Should this be a sidewalk? Should I decrease the width of the road to only 4 black 1x4 tiles, 4 studs if you will, because the road that goes underneath the waterfall is actually only 4 wide, so that might make sense. However, every other road in the city is actually 6 wide. No, I mean 8 wide, just like this. So I'm not sure. Then again, it could just be a 2 wide sidewalk right here, which I think would look great too. Interesting. Lots of thoughts. And then again, of course, this finishing detail right up here. Not sure about that yet, but yeah, again, any kind of suggestions are more than welcome. I decided to add in a sidewalk here. Now I've placed my little sig fig here just to get a sense of scale. And what I was thinking was that this river isn't very wide when you consider the width of the minifigs. So there's definitely something about this finishing that's got to be here. It still has to be proportionate in some way, and I'm not sure that's going to be too easy. I'm really not sure what this finishing touch could be, so I think I'll leave that up to you, my dear viewers. Please give me a great suggestion for a finishing touch here, and over at this right over here, finishing touch for that one as well, because I'm stumped. I don't know precisely what it could be. Of course, I could just tile everything, but I think that's a bit boring, to be honest, particularly because we've got all these studs available. Something could be done here. I don't know, maybe fences? Fences. I have got some of those, but I'm not sure. Of course, we could something like this. Oops. Something like this. Maybe. I don't know. Not sure I have enough black fences for those. Maybe these instead would look better. I don't know. And of course, how to do the corners, but that would be a detail, I think. If I were to do that with those, it wouldn't get me very far, I'm sure, because I only have 1, 2, 3, and 1 more, and they're not even the same type. This one's got 4 studs and this one only got 2 studs. So I would have to put something on top of that, and then the fences are suddenly very tall. So yeah, not completely sure on how to solve this. So if you have any great suggestions for how to do something here, please let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to hear about it. But other than that, I think this is as far as I can get with this today. I do have a thing I want to add over in the city before I add this back in the city. So I'll head over to Bakersville and I'll show you something that I didn't do last time, which I think would be very neat to get done. Right, here we are back in the city, and the thing I wanted to do was adding some tiles in here so the waterfall could actually slide in and out easily, because right now it's just a plate hovering 1 plate height above everything else. So adding a row of these 1x4 black tiles would actually even out the weight a little bit and make it easy to slide the waterfall in and out of place. That's the area tiled in. This is just purely, you know, this is structure or mechanics more than it's actually aesthetics in the city. But I think this will work well, and weight distribution will be better on the plate. So what I need to do now is add in the base plate and see how everything looks. Okie dokes, here we go. Putting this part of the city back in the city. Well, anyway, slide, slide, slide. Slidey, slidey, slide. Oops. Yeah, now it's of course hitting that new feature. Well, this is good. Ooh, there we go. And up here. Yeah, there we go. Everything now back in place. It's definitely looking more finished at this point, and I like that these sidewalks are now a little wider and the road is now a little more narrow. That's good. I do like that it is integrating and sliding this way like this, and the way that it sort of integrates with this plate over here is pretty good too. And taking a look from the other side, we can see these arches right here. Maybe I need to do some kind of waving thing because of the power with which the water is coming out of these holes or these arches right here. That may look pretty realistic, but I don't know if realism is the way to go here or if I should just leave it as is. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any kind of ideas for that. Other than that, I do think the rest of this actually integrates pretty well with the rest of the harbor area. It is something I built quite a while ago, so my idea is probably to change this in some way at some point, but for now I'll leave it as is. Generally, I'm pretty happy with the overall sense of integration that's now going on down here. That's pretty good, but I'm not satisfied with the finishing right here. Maybe I'm not even satisfied with the wall. I'm not sure about that, but I would love any kind of suggestions you folk may have about what I can do here, because this isn't easy. It isn't easy at all. But with that said, I think I'll go back to me and I'll say thank you for watching. Today I continued work on the waterfall in my Lego city, and it turned out to be much harder than I thought, because for some reason I'm not sure this works as well as I wanted it to. If you folks have any kind of suggestions for what I could do to make this work, or maybe just some suggestions for the finishing details of the wall or fence around the water, please let me know in the comments below, and I would be happy to hear it, because you folks always have great ideas and great suggestions. Next week there may not be a video, and if there is a video, there's a good chance it will not be a city update. But do not worry, in 14 days there will be another city update. So that's all for me today. I hope you'll comment, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you folks next time.